And it was really hard, because I remember crying a lot, because Barry was a tough, say, get out there and do it. And we had to get out there and do it.
We were just a rhythm and blues company, and for me to get them to the Copa was history making, was all the things that I wanted to do. The Supremes and I had done it. My star, Diana Ross, had come through. Hold my hand up, where I may be. Hold my hand and I'll take it Diana has charisma, and she had the voice, she had the style.
Everything today is thoroughly modern. Check your personality, everything today makes yesterday slow. Better personality.
My favorite Motown artist was Queen of Motown, Diana. I think it was her energy and her eagerness to entertain. I mean, she's like, you know, her mouth couldn't be open more smiling, and her eyes bugging the biggest, and she's just so much excitement around her that I'd said, that one right there in the middle, that's the one I like.
Raindrops and roses and with little kittens, bright copper kettles and warm wool and mittens, brown paper bags just tied up with string. These are the few of my favorite.
Diana was aggressive, and Diana was the personality, one of the group, and Diana was the key to the Supremes. She wanted to be a superstar. From the time I met her, and that's what she was going to be, and she was willing to pay the price, willing to sacrifice.
Oh, girl, it broke our hearts when he fell in love with Diana Ross. In the beginning, he concentrated on all the acts, not just the women, but the men as well. Barry started paying a lot of attention to us very early on. He saw that we had that sort of that class or whatever it was that could go to the next level. I think that the relationship was second to that.
I love Diana and all that, but she had a goal and I had a goal. I wanted to be where I was going to be. She wanted to be where she was going to be. And we vowed not to ever let our relationship come between that.
Oh, girl, it broke our hearts when he fell in love with Diana Ross. In the beginning, he concentrated on all the acts, not just the women, but the men as well. Barry started paying a lot of attention to us very early on. He saw that we had that sort of that class or whatever it was that could go to the next level. I think that the relationship was second to that.
I love Diana and all that, but she had a goal and I had a goal. I wanted to be where I was going to be. She wanted to be where she was going to be. And we vowed not to ever let our relationship come between that.
We all three were very close. I mean, Florence loved Diane, Diane loved Florence, and vice versa. It was all, we were all that close.
Although they were really close, in my opinion, the success of the Supremes was too much for Florence to handle. I think the bigger the Supremes got, the more withdrawn Florence became. We were playing in New Orleans, and Florence just couldn't even make it. So Diana and Mary did the show. The next day when we were flying home, Florence had sent a letter up to Diana, said, I can't take this anymore. I don't want to be in the group anymore.
I was aware that something dramatic had happened until the time I didn't know which girl was even leaving. And I literally stepped into Florence's shoes 1 week later after watching her on stage night by night. The second week, she was gone, and I was on stage.
Through the mirror of my mind, time after time, I see reflections of you and me, reflections of the way life used to be.
Berry Gordy mobilized his forces. He's never been one to come from the defense, and he just goes out there and takes on the world, and he put together a group called the Clan, and they locked up in a hotel room. Berry wrote the melody and the chord structure for Love Child, and the rest is history.
But what I feel for you is real love. In others' eyes I see reflected, I heard scorn, rejected, love child, never meant to be.
When Love Child was written, Berry Gordy said, suppose we just try something new, to go on Ed Sullivan with afro wigs, bare feet, leather vest on, and shorts. We didn't know how they were going to receive it at first, but people really ate it up.
So Love Child turned out to be the biggest selling Supremes record that we had ever had. So we not only reached our goal, but surpassed it. And so that was the beginning of a whole new...
Berry was really successful in the music business when he decided to move to L.A., and he was still a dreamer. He arrived in Hollywood and began to produce movies and television, and many of us got to share in that dream.
I don't think Berry Gordy went into television because there was a ceiling on opportunity or anything. Berry is an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. I mean, he loves to do it all. And he has his hands in all of it. So if he's going to do a television show, why wouldn't he do it?
TCB, starring Diana Ross and the Supremes with the Temptations.
Thanks to each and every one of you, you are dreams.
No, Diana, we're the Temptations. All the formalities are done now. Let's loosen up and have some fun now. Ladies, it's time for you to do your thing.
It just broadened our perspective of what the Temps and the Supremes were about, because we were doing songs that were out of the norm for us. We weren't just doing, you know, what the Temps were noted for. We were doing do 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 do. I can't think of very popular tune at the time.
Do you know the way to San Jose? I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose.
G.I.D. on Broadway.
I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair. I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair. I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair and send him on his way.
Totem Tom Tom.
When I grab my chickadee coatum, just grab my arm to the coatum, totem tom tom. They met, totem tom tom. With one enormous chair, oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Lots of chocolate for me to eat. Lots of cold milk and lots. I need love, love, to ease my mind. I need to find someone to call mine. But Mama said you can't hurry love. No, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy. It's It's a game of give and take.
Whatever Motown means, as a rags to riches story, as a company that cultivates talent, it really flows through Diana Ross and her life and her rise. She is, she's the epitome, the exemplar of what Motown accomplished in terms of grooming, dressing, working with how to speak, what to say, what not to say, how to move on stage, how not to move on stage, where to look, where not to look, shaping songs around the persona of the artist.
And here she is, the one and only, the unforgettable. Hey, what was your name?
You got a smile so bright.
When you think of the word diva, that's the first person that people think of is Diana. She had magic about her. She made people feel good. She could smile and people wanted to smile back. And when you have that, when you got that certain something, it's like gold.
She wanted to be a star, and she knew I wanted to make her a star. The relationship we had was one that, you love your star. I loved my star. I didn't want her to sacrifice anything to be with me. I wanted her to get what she wanted, who she was, what she was meant to be. She was meant to be something here on this earth, and I wanted her to get that.
There was this relationship between Barry and I that was, it was such a bond. I used to say that if he thought I could do it, I could do whatever he believed I could do it. I would do it because he thought I could do it, because he believed that I could do it, I would do it.
If you do have a group, and if you have a member of that group who can step out and be a worldwide star, you can't keep them back. With Diana Ross, she's a star of the first magnitude. There's no way that one can limit then that individual star and say you're only into music. If you have talent to become a star in a different arena.